right. Welcome everyone to our live tour of the campus farm. We're so happy to have you join us here. My name is Kristen Coffey. I'm the coordinator of recruitment for the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources. Today I'm joined by some colleagues in the Animal Science Department and our AG&R student ambassadors majoring in animal science and pre-veterinary medicine. If you have questions throughout our session, please enter them in the chat. We've got some people behind the scenes grabbing all your questions. So if you have specific questions about animal or parts of the farm, drop it in the chat and we'll make sure to get to it throughout our session today. And we are recording this session, so we'll be posting on our YouTube channel after we're done. At this point, I'm going to turn it over.
Hey everyone, my name is Tabitha Gregory. I'm the Animal Sciences Academic Program Coordinator. So I work with the undergraduates in our department. And I was also an undergraduate student in this program. So it's really fun to come back and help people along on their animal sciences journey as well. We are joined by two of our animal sciences students, and they are also AG&R ambassadors. And I'll let them introduce themselves to you.
Hi everyone, my name is Johnavi. I'm a junior animal science major. I'm an ambassador for the College of Agriculture and an animal science peer mentor.
Hi, I'm Eliza. I'm a junior doing a double degree in animal science on the pre-vet track and Spanish. I am a AG&R ambassador. I'm a member of Sigma Alpha Professional Agricultural Sorority. And then I've been a TA for Animal Science 101 and currently for 204 or 205.
All right, so our plan for today is, it's a gorgeous day on the farm, by the way. The leaves are changing, there's a breeze, it's nice and warm. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna give you kind of an overview of our facilities on the farm and also let you see some of the animals that we house here on the campus farm. The campus farm is about 4 acres large, and it's right here on campus, directly on campus, and our animal sciences building is about 100 feet that way. So we're really close to our building, and the farm is really just the home of the animal sciences program. So what we're going to be doing first is we're going to go to our horse barn, which is right behind me. Then we'll be visiting our sheep barn, and then we'll rotate around to see some more of the horses, our riding ring on campus, and then we'll actually see our Animal Sciences 103 class in action. They're going to be doing a lab out here on the campus farm today, like they do every single week, and we'll get to see what they're going to be up to today. So our first stop is the horse barn. So let's go. So welcome to our horse barn. As you can see, we have some special guests joining us for this part of our tour. So we have Millie, who is one of our resident campus horses. We currently have 6 horses here on campus, and Millie is probably the star of our program. She is just a gem. She tolerates all of our beginner students who have never even worked with a horse before, and she's just a great horse to have around. And we have Dr. Burke here with us, and Dr. Burke is our equine extension specialist on campus, and she also works with all of our equine programs and teaches our equine classes. So I'm going to let Dr. Burke talk about some of what she does on campus.
Thank you so much, Tabitha. Welcome. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the horse barn. We have this lovely horse barn right in the middle of campus, which we love, and we get to have horses like Millie show our students how to do basic health care of our horses, even ride our horses. So I teach several horse classes. So if you come to University of Maryland, you could be in an introductory horse management class, learn all the basics, how to feed them, how to care for them, how to groom them. And then if you're really interested in continuing on, you can take Equine Science. It's an upper level class, which is more for our pre-vets. They really get into it because we do things like this may not sound like the best thing, but lower limb dissection. So we can really get into the anatomy and physiology of our horses and learn how they move and how they operate so that we can keep them healthy and sound. And then another class that we have here is Equine Reproduction. So right now we only have our teaching and our riding horses, but every spring we bring in brood mares and we help them have their foals. So we learn about them first, we get very prepared, we're very ready, and then we spend a lot of sleepless nights in our animal science building until our brood mare is full, and then we're here attending them in our horse barn. So we have lots of horse specific classes, but I have to say there are many, many other classes in the animal science department that have horses in it. Millie's featured in our intro to animal science class. She's one of the best horses to learn how to handle. And then, gosh, there's lots of classes. What's that? Oh, our clubs. So, you know, getting into horses at the University of Maryland is easy with the classes, but then there's a lot of extracurricular activities you can get involved in. And what's really cool about our 3 horse clubs is that you don't have to have riding experience, which is my favorite thing. But if you're interested in really caring for the horse and learning how to feed them and ride them, a great club to consider is the Equestrian Club, and Millie's part of our Equestrian Club. They have about 40 to 50 students that ride here at the campus farm. They take care of our horses. They do basic treatments, maybe even leg wrapping. But they also have a nice lesson program, so you can learn how to ride with the Equestrian Club. They also have a good social program too. You can go out, watch movies about horses, you know, that kind of thing. Then we have an intercollegiate team, the Maryland Equestrian team. They're based off campus. They have also about 40 to 50 members in it. They're a competitive team, although they have lessons for beginners up through advanced, and they compete against about 12 other universities in our zone. So they're very good, very accomplished, and I highly encourage people to check them out too if you're interested in showing and hunters and equitation and jumpers. And then lastly, we have our eventing team. So we have 3 teams. The eventing team rounds out our 3rd there, and they are a team based around their love of eventing. Eventing is an Olympic sport. There's 3 phases: dressage, cross country, and show jumping, and they love that sport. So you can join it if you don't have a horse, you don't compete in eventing, but they have a lesson program as well as they compete, and they compete against other, you know, universities like University of Kentucky at the intercollegiate eventing championships every May. So there's a whole bunch of different ways you can get involved with horses here. You can certainly just take classes, you could get in the clubs. And then also there are internships with me as assistant farm manager. You could might help me and our farm manager run the barn. We also have opportunities to be teaching assistants. I certainly need my undergrad teaching assistants to help us pull out those mares every spring. It's exhausting and we need a lot of people to help. So there's lots of different ways you can get involved here in the horse program. Hi, Millie. Millie loves attention. Millie's always the star here. Millie's a draft cross. She's probably been here the longest out of our horses, maybe about 5 years, right, Millie? And she has taught a lot of people how to walk, trot, and canter, and how to lead, how to take TPRs, how to load on trailers. Millie has done it all. She's probably got a better background in teaching than me at this point. Don't you, Millie? Yeah, are there any questions online that I can answer? Let me think. You know, what's interesting, people always ask me, where do you get your horses from? And we actually have people that are just really great supporters of our program and they donate them. So we have lots of horses that are donated. We actually have free leases too. People say, you know what, I need my horse to have another job, and they're really good horses. I'm sending them to the University of Maryland to be teachers. So we really appreciate all of our fans out there that help keep us with some great horses like Millie and some of the other ones you might see in the background as you move around the campus farm today. Okay, well, if I don't see any questions coming through, I can't see it. I don't know if you guys can, but it's great to have you guys in the barn. I'm going to turn it back over to Tabitha.
Thank you, Millie. Thank you, Dr. Burke, for all that information. All right, Millie, go enjoy the sun. She's probably eaten all of her hay already for the morning, yeah, so. Millie's on a diet. Millie likes to eat a little bit fast. She's a draft cross, so she stays in high body conditions for when she doesn't eat a lot of meat. But we love her anyway, so. All right, we're gonna head out to our sheep barn now. So we will exit the horse barn and walk around to the sheep. Thanks again, Dr. Burke. And if you all have any questions, it doesn't have to be regarding the farm, but any questions at all about the animal sciences program, we have 2 current students here. Anything about student life, about the clubs, about what it's like to live in residence halls, like these 2 are pros at answering all of those questions. So All right. So this is our sheep barn up here at the top of the hill. And this is where our flock of Katahdin sheep are housed. And this is part of our breeding program here on campus. And here I have Dr. Sarah Beckham, who is our pre-vet advisor. And she also teaches some of the courses here on campus that pretty much most of our students take. So I'm going to let Dr. Beckham speak about that.
Thank you, Tabitha. Hi, everybody. My name is Dr. Sarah Beckham, and I am the director of the Animal Sciences undergraduate program. I teach courses, including our very popular Lamb Watch course. So I am happy to talk to you about that course. It is a spring semester course where our 20 mamas will be lambing out in February, and we teach the students in the classroom how to take care of them. But even better yet, we train them with the expert care of my farm manager, myself, and our UTAs to actually take care of these animals and raise them up over the course of the spring semester. So a really great example of learning right on the farm at Maryland. I am also the pre-veterinary advisor for campus, and I am a veterinarian myself. So I will guide our students through their 4 years here, helping them to get ready for vet school and everything that lies beyond. So I am happy to take your questions about the program, Lamb Watch, any of the other classes I teach, pre-vet advising, you name it. Yes, it is a warm day, which is unusual in October, and sheep being endowed with their big heavy coats and a fat covering are hot right now, so they have gone inside to hide. But we have a couple up. Yeah, they're starting to wander out. They want to know what we're up to. Do shearing? No. So we have an entire flock of what are known as hair sheep. So sheep come in two varieties, those that grow wool and those that grow hair. And we raise hair sheep because it is actually a lot of work to do shearing. If you want to learn to do shearing, we do have some students who actually shear and have backgrounds, and we can certainly help you find the people who can train you, but that's not something we do here. Oh, here they come. They're very curious. They'd like to know what we're up to. You always need the sort of brave one in front. So sheep are a flocking species, and they won't go anywhere unless there's food involved or one of them is feeling brave and the others can follow. All right, I'm going to hand this over to Eliza, who took Lamb Watch with me, and she can talk all about the experience.
Hi. So I took Lamb Watch last spring, and because of COVID, we were separated into a farm section and a non-farm section. So both sections learned all the material, but I was lucky enough to actually be on the farm and be hands-on with the sheep. And so we were in partners, our shepherd partners, and then we were each assigned a pregnant ewe, and then it was about once a week, and we would rotate. We would have night watches on the farm between about 9 and midnight, but they were 2-hour shifts, I think they were. And you'd do all the barn chores, take care of them, do all the feeding, and then you'd watch for signs of the sheep going into labor. And then if you went into labor, you'd get a call from Crystal, the farm manager, so you could be there for the birth. And then you get to do all of the post-partum care. So you weigh the lamb, you make sure the lambs are healthy, and you go to the farm pretty much every day for the first week of life. And then after that, it's once a week or once every 2 weeks, and you just make sure that they're on track, staying healthy. And then you end up helping with vaccinating the flock, weighing the adult flock, hoof trimming, what else? Ear tags, pretty much everything that you would need to everything that you'd need to be able to have your own flock. The goal is to make students comfortable handling sheep and managing their own starter flock if they wanted to. But when I was applying to UMD and I heard about this class, I thought, like, okay, I have to go here and I have to take this class. And I was lucky enough to be able to take it.
Thank you, Eliza. And pretty much every animal science student who wants to take Lamb Watch will be able to fit it into their schedule one of the 4 years. Often students have to wait until their sophomore year just to get in because it's a really popular class. We had a question in the chat about how many sheep we have. So each year we have about 20 ewes. Those are the mama sheep, and they will give birth to about 40 lambs. We also have some boys on the campus farm because it takes 2 to tango, so to speak. And when they are not hanging out with the ewes, they are over in with the cows so that they have some friends to hang out with. You can see the sheep have gotten kind of brave. They've come out to see us, which is great. Any last questions before we send you off on the next part of your tour? So as a freshman, you're going to be taking Animal Sciences 103, which is the companion lab to our Principles of Animal Science course. You can expect to be on the farm for 2 to 3 hours every week, learning how to do basic handling and safety with the various species here. Beyond that, if you want additional experience, you animal intensive courses, horse management, sheep management, poultry management, those types of things. You can also volunteer to be on the campus farm crew. And so that is a volunteer transition into a paid opportunity to work here, taking care of the animals. And you can volunteer a minimum of 4 hours per week up to whatever time that you have here. Beyond that, we try and work very hard coordinating volunteer and internship positions for students who want them, particularly in farm settings. Some of them are close enough to campus that either walking or public transportation will get you there. Others you will need a car to have.
How long after the birth of the lambs do students still take care of them?
So with Lamb Watch, you will be intensively involved with your lamb for the first week of life. And then you will be working with them in labs and sometimes for showing for what we call Ag Day, which is part of our big Maryland Day celebration, and also doing physicals on them again at day 35 and 55 of life. We encourage a lot of interaction with them early on, and then as the course of the semester progresses, you will get busy learning other things about their management and whatnot and see less of them, but certainly they'll still be here.
Thank you, Dr. Beckham. You guys just saw our other 2 horses, Layla and Remy. They're turned out right now. So they're out pre-roaming, and we'll go over and say hi to our last remaining horses. So we have 6 total on campus. You've seen Millie. Diva is Millie's pasture mate who was in her stall, and then we have Layla and Remy. And we'll go over to our north paddock here and see the last 2 horses. And we'll also take a glimpse at our riding ring also. All right, onward. Ooh, good question. Yes. So we do not currently, so poultry rotates on the campus farm. So we do have a commercial poultry management class that's hosted in the spring. And as part of that class, those students raise a flock of chickens to learn about practical poultry management. So they raise broiler chickens, and they are raised from hatch to market weight. And so those students get to see that entire process of raising a flock of chickens. And actually, this building right here, it doesn't look like much, but that's our chicken house, and that's where the chickens will be housed. So that has all the specialized equipment inside it to raise a flock of chickens. So yes, we do have chickens on the farm at a certain time of the year. So really the only species of animals that we have on the farm all the time are a flock of sheep and the rams. We have 2 in-house Holstein cows, and then we have our horse herd. So these are our last 2 horses. Oh, they're gonna come over and say hi. That's nice. So this pretty boy is Odin. Odin is the newest horse in our herd. He just got here a couple weeks ago. If any of you saw, there was a Diamondbacks article about a horse in quarantine. That was Odin. We quarantine all of our animals that come on the farm for biosecurity, just to make sure that we don't spread any diseases to our current herd. So Odin's all healthy, and he's been integrated into our herd, and that's Remy, his field mate here. So Remy is also relatively new to the program this semester, and he's been a really good lesson horse so far, and Odin's proving to have a good temperament also for our students. So those are the rest of our horses, and you can actually see up here, oh, sorry, Odin, excuse me. So up here you can see our riding ring. So this is where, as Dr. Burke was talking about, we have our on-campus lesson program with the Equestrian Club. So that's the ring in which they ride. And horse management will also do some labs up in the ring as well when we're doing horse handling or possibly lunging. So it's a pretty good sized ring, really good for our students to learn how to handle horses in a safe environment. So, all right. Question? Good question. So for the most part, if you are doing a hands-on type class like Animal Science 103 or horse management, obviously you need to wear typical long pants, safe for wearing on the farm, and also closed-toed shoes, boots that can get hosed off and cleaned. For Animal Science 103, we'll actually see a group of the students over here, but they're wearing coveralls in order to protect their clothes, and that also helps with biosecurity also, if you're possibly allergic to an animal or they have something on them, those clothes are easily disinfected as opposed to your normal everyday clothes. So our students, you will have to get coveralls and probably a pair of work boots or farm boots to wear for our classes, and that's for the hands-on ones where you will be on campus, and all of our students are on the farm working with the animals at some point. So, all right. Well, I think we'll go over here and take a look at Animal Science 103 in progress. So as Dr. Beckham said, Animal Science 103 is the very first lab course that our students take in our animal science program. So today they're actually doing probably one of the coolest labs, in my opinion, is that they will be reaching their hand into our fistulated cow's rumen, which is really, for most of our students, a highlight of their time here in their courses. So you can see here that we have one of our Holstein cows in our ring, and you can see the students sitting there in their small group. So that is a undergraduate teaching assistant, giving them kind of some instructions and some basic information about the rumen and the cow's digestive system. And we'll come around here and we can probably see the fistula of the cow. So we have two Holstein dairy cows and both of them have a fistula. And so this fistula was surgically inserted. It does not cause the cow any pain. And it really is just for educational purposes. So while it is a procedure that has been done for a while, it's not, I would say, common. It's mostly seen on educational campuses like universities. If any of you have the pleasure of coming to Maryland Day, or Ag Day as we call it in the Animal Sciences Department, because we started it, it was Ag Day, and then the university kind of took the idea. We do pull the cows out and let the public also do this. So the fistula kind of has like a cap on it, and if you remove that, then you have access to the cow's rumen. So our students will be learning about that, and actually here in the dairy barn, you can see some students doing that also. April, I think we'll go around the back way so we can come and see them from the other side. So you can see some of our students in the dairy barn here. I did say that we only have a couple species here all the time. We do also have other species that circulate through. So for example, in Animal Science 103, you'll learn about pig handling, how to move pigs around and how to ultrasound their back for their loin thickness. So we do have pigs that come on campus for a time. Unfortunately, our pigs just left last week, but we did have some pigs here on campus. And then when our students in one of their very last modules, they learn about beef handling, how to move beef cows through a chute, how to perform health checks and that kind of thing. Then we will have a couple of beef heifers here on campus as well. So we have a lot of animals that circulate through onto our campus farm, so our students can work with all types of species. So the classes, your Animal Science 103 class is going to have around 20 students. And when you come over to the farm, you're going to be broken up into even smaller groups than that. And the majority of our management classes are around that size, around 20 students. Now your big introductory Animal Science 101 lecture will have about 100, but as you go higher in the course level, it gets much smaller. So a lot of the purpose of that is to figure out how it takes microbes within. So you can see one of our graduate TAs leading this small group. So what these students are going to do is they're going to put on a long glove and they're going to be able to reach in and feel the lining of the rumen. That's pretty much what this lab is about, is learning about digestion. And for a cow, that main process happens in the rumen. So they're going to put their hand in there. They're going to feel the inner lining. It feels like a carpet. And they're also going to take some of the digestive juices from the rumen and go take a look at it under a microscope and see some of the microbes flying around in there too. Janavi, do you remember this lab? Do you want to talk about like what it was like?
Sure. I took Animal Science 103 as a freshman. So my first week of coming to college, every week we'd be at the farm learning how to handle a different animal. I think the cow was probably the coolest because we got to put our hand in and really see how different parts in the rumen really work. So that was really cool. Coming into college with very little animal handling experience, it was really a unique experience to be able to learn how to handle different animals so many times a semester.
Thanks, Janavi. I also wanted to point out that this fistula in these cows also saves animal lives. It's actually a really great tool for an animal. So for example, one of our sheep on the campus farm gets sick. And as that animal gets sick, their microbiome starts to die off when that animal is infected. And so what we can do is we can actually take some of the rumen fluid from these cows and we can give it to those sheep and help repopulate their gut. So not only is this an educational tool, but it also is a health tool as well in order to help sick animals recover much more quickly than they normally would. So any questions about 103 or about any of the program? Pretty much anything, fire away. Yeah. So just kind of going over where we are on campus. The campus farm is kind of closed in a little bit, unfortunately, but we are right between the Xfinity Center and Regent's Drive Garage. And so, like I said, we are about 4 acres, but we're right in the heart of campus. I mean, you can see our Lot 9 parking lot, the Xfinity Center roof is right over there. And so we are kind of at the hub of campus, and sometimes you can tell with all the buses driving around and everything. But it really is great because it allows great access for the public to come and visit the farm, and also our students to just walk right across the street from their animal sciences building. So that's really helpful, and our location has really allowed for great access for learning. Yeah, so you can see the Animal Sciences building right here. So this is the research wing of the Animal Sciences building, and then the building itself is the tall kind of square one right there. So right in walking distance, walk right across the street and you're here at your class, which is great. So our freshman class, it varies. In fall admission, it's usually probably, I would say, about 70 students coming in, and that's including both transfer and new freshmen. So we usually have a good incoming class, and the great thing that I like about the Animal Sciences program is you stay with that class through all of your animal science courses. Janavi and Eliza can attest to this, that you get to know the people within your year. And also within the animal sciences major also, but as you work up those core classes in our curriculum, you're with that same group of people all the way up, which is really fun. Did you guys have anything you wanted to add about the program or your experience or anything?
So like Tabitha said, you're with the same group of people throughout, but not just in your animal science classes, because everyone has the same requirements in terms of biology and chemistry and all of those other fundamental science courses. You end up having them in other classes as well. So the microbiome class I'm in right now has about 20 animal science students, and I know most of them. Same with all of my chemistry lectures. I have a friend in animal science. We both end up sitting in the front row of every lecture. So I think we have every class together. Yeah, so it's a great way to build study groups and learn off each other. And then another thing about the location, the freshman dorms are like right there. So 103, it's like a 5-minute walk. So it's really convenient. But yeah, did you have anything to add?
All right, well, as we wrap up, I just wanted to talk about where do our graduates go? Where do our students go? Most of our students actually start in our program as pre-vets, which is awesome. I'm a veterinarian, I love that. What I really love showing our students is all of the cool things you can do working with animals, on behalf of animals, and because of animals in this program. So those who are dedicated to the pre-vet path, we have a really great acceptance rate. Every year we have about 12 to 15 of our current students, as well as a handful of alumni applying to veterinary school. And we see on average about 80 to 85% of them getting in. So we think that's really great. But we know that a lot more students start pre-vet than finish pre-vet. So where do the rest of them go? And I can tell you every year we send a few students off to graduate school to look into very specific research focused questions that they may want to pursue as a career, either in academia or working in industry. We also really try and talk about all of the amazing career paths that are available to our students. And so we do have a number of students who say, wow, I never knew I loved nutrition so much, or I really like being out working with people and with the animals, and I have a knack for sales, or I have a knack for representing a product to professionals, those types of things. So we try and make available through our career seminar and our internship course and our advising a lot of information about the different careers that are related to an animal sciences bachelor's degree, so that if you want to graduate and go out into the world of work, you have a career to start. So that's really where our students go. Most of our students stay with the program. There's always going to be a little bit of turnover from year to year, but generally it's a very multi-purpose program. Sometimes we even send students to the dark side and they go to dental school or medical school or nursing school, and that's okay. We love that they have a One Health approach and they understand the animal piece of that too. But generally our classes come together, stay together, and go on to work in animal fields, which we think is great. Sure. So if you're interested in small animals and you're thinking of veterinary school, this is still going to be a great program for you. I will tell you that animal science traditionally is about raising animals for food, fiber, and work. We do have small animal components. We do a little bit of it in the 101 class that I teach. I teach a whole course on companion animal care that can serve as your management course requirement. And we do have opportunities through, say, the internship program to do more with small animals. What you won't see is a focus on small animals. For all of you would-be small animal vets, I would say come do this anyway, because when you go to veterinary school, you're going to have to learn all of the species. And let me tell you, you're learning a whole bunch of stuff all at once in vet school. And it's so great to come to vet school, having already laid your hands on a horse, knowing how to put a halter on the different species and move around a flock and understand their nutritional needs and their housing needs and their welfare needs and all of that. So I have found that very useful. I also find useful as a veterinarian the ability to jump between species. It gives me this really rich, interesting career. So again, you can certainly study small animals as part of your animal sciences degree, but you'll find that most animal sciences programs don't focus on small animals. Okay.
Something I wanted to highlight, just like non-academic clubs, our pre-vet society at Maryland is very active, and there's a lot of different things that we do. I'm actually on the exec board. So a couple events that we have for a small animal experience, we have the Prince George's County, we have shot clinics at the PGSBCA that you can volunteer at. We also, as a pre-vet society, we have vet schools come and give informational visits. So you can ask vet schools any questions you have about the whole vet school application process. So it really gets you thinking about vet school. I know there was a question about small animals in the chat. So we have a little bit of experience within the pre-vet society.
So there was a question about research and how much research is available. There is a ton of research opportunities on campus. I know one of the programs, the FIRE program, is like a first year research program for specifically freshmen to get their foot in the door in terms of labs. And then if you decide not to do that, the animal science department is full of faculty who are doing their research. I just started working in Dr. Schiffmacher's lab. And I know a bunch of people who work with different faculty in what they're researching. And what you can do is go on the animal science website. There's a list of all the faculty, and then it has information about what they're researching. And you can look through it, see if there's anything you're interested in, and you can shoot them an email and ask if they have any positions open. And if they don't, they'll probably know someone who does. You also don't have to look in the animal science department. You can look in biology or chemistry. There are constantly people who are looking for undergraduates to work in their labs. So there's no shortage of research opportunities. So the question was, how did we choose our major and our track? I have wanted to go to vet school for a very long time. I know that's a very cliche answer. But the big draw for me was the amount of hands-on animal experience in this program, and how it's tailored to, it's not just biology, it's tailored to be able to apply the knowledge that you have, and in your classes you are applying what you learn instead of just being lectured to. And so I find that really helpful and meaningful in my education. And then I already said hands-on experience. So yeah, and then I know UMD has a really good rate of getting people into vet school. I think it's something in like the 80%. And I know several vets who I work with actually went to UMD before they went to vet school. So I know we have a good reputation in that sense. But I absolutely love my major, and it's one of the best decisions I ever made.
I chose animal science because when I was choosing a major for college, I wanted something challenging and something unique, and I thought animal science was the perfect mix of that. And within animal science, we have 3 different tracks you can choose from. So there's the sciences pre-professional, there's the animal care management, and then there's the combined ag vet that gets you the requirements in 3 years. So your 4th year, you'd be ideally at vet school. So I started off as a science pre-professional on the science pre-professional track. And then earlier this semester, I was like, oh, I'm not sure if I want to go to vet school anymore. So I thought, why should I take all these like hard science classes if I don't need those requirements for vet school? But then I started taking like the care and management, and I realized I liked that, but I also missed the science heavier classes. So I decided to stick with the science pre-professional track. And the major difference between the 2 tracks, I would say, is that the science one is very science focused. They're more like structure-based science classes, which I tend to enjoy. So even though I don't plan on applying to vet school right after graduation, I still am on the science track because I like the science. So that's also an option. The care and management track, that has a lot more of the management, like the husbandry, the handling of all those different animals and the classes that everybody's been talking about. But yeah, and then the combined ag vet track is our least popular one, but it gets you the requirements for pre-vet in 3 years. So after your 3rd year, you'd be applying to vet school, and then the 4th year, ideally you would be at vet school and completing the requirements.
I can speak a little bit on that one as well. So I initially came in as the combined ag vet degree, but I decided I wanted to add a Spanish minor and then ended up changing it to a 2nd degree in Spanish. But I also realized that I know vet school is really I know vet school is very intense in terms of how much work you have to do in such a short amount of time. So I wanted to be able to take undergrad to enjoy the time and be able to actually do extracurriculars and have some mental sanity. And so I did decide to switch to the regular 4-year track. But for me, that was a good decision. Any other questions?
I'm just going to come advocate for the care and management track real quick, because we have 2 fantastic students who are part of the science pre-professional and do those upper level science courses. But the care and management track is also a STEM-based degree, and you do have all the hands-on animal science opportunities that they have. But I just want to highlight that the reason I chose the animal science major when I was an undergraduate was the flexibility that this major offers. You are getting a STEM degree, so you're getting those basic science classes, biology, chemistry, microbiology, all of those classes. But if you think about animals and you think about livestock, And you think about every level of production, from breeding to birthing to raising to market or to milking, equine care, all of those levels require someone to work at that career. So there really was a lot of opportunity in animal science, and that's what drew me to it, is that if you don't end up going to vet school or you don't want to go into research, there are a world of opportunities in the agriculture field that animal science prepares you for. So that was what drew me to the major specifically, was the flexibility of it as well. We also have groundhogs on the campus farm, so. All right. Is he over there? Okay, no other remaining questions. We can go ahead and end the farm tour here. We can peek in at our 103 students and see what else is going on here. Might be a new group getting fresh information about digestion. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in to this campus farm tour. I hope you enjoyed seeing the pride and joy of the Animal Sciences Department. We really do love our campus farm, and it is a home for a lot of our students. And a lot of our students have a lot of firsts here on the farm. First time handling a horse, first time reaching into a cow's rumen. And so we really do enjoy having this opportunity here so close to our building to offer our students to enjoy. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Really appreciate it. And if you guys have any questions about the major or want to learn more about how you can be an animal sciences major, reach out to Kristen at the College of AGNR. So you can visit agnr.umd.edu and you'll be able to find prospective student information there. And you can get in touch with our ambassadors to get more information about what it's like to be a student in our program. And yeah, we really hope that we'll see you guys in the future. So have a good one.